Welcome back to the channel, guys. Hope you're having a wonderful day. You know, if you're like me and you're finding that this year has been really funky for you, not only during the spawn, but kind of this post-spawn period as well, you're not alone. We're gonna be going over my top 5 topwater baits to get bit during this time of the year. Now, I've been throwing a lot of conventional topwater baits and haven't had much success. And if you're like me, you found that, conventional topwater baits are not getting it done. You need to go to some other baits to get bites. Well, these are my top 5 lures for very finicky fish that I found have been catching a lot of fish for me personally here in the DFW, Texas area. And I know around the country, you'll be able to catch a lot of fish on these lures as well. Now, let's go ahead and start off with something that's going to be moving a lot. So the 2 moving baits I have, we'll go ahead and start with this one right here. This is the Berkley Chapo, guys. This guy right here is in the 90 size, and it is going to be in the bluegill. Just threw it. It's going to be in this bluegill pattern. What's really cool about this bluegill pattern, it is a very translucent bluegill pattern on it. So it has a very clear underbelly, so that way the light can penetrate through it. I found that going to more translucent colors on my moving style baits like this Whopper Plopper Chapo style bait, it's been a lot more productive. Now, this bluegill color is one of my favorites here. Not even, if it's real finicky, but almost all times of the year, I absolutely love this color. It really just imitates a shad just because it's so clear. It also imitates bluegill because it has a little bit of color running through it. So this guy right here in the 90 size is a very finesse plopper style bait that I can get bit on a lot, especially when it's flat calm or even if it's really windy. Now, what's cool about this bait here, unlike the River to Sea Whopper Plopper, this Chapo here actually chops a little bit more, so it doesn't have a deep plopping noise. It has more of a going through the water. So it's a completely different sound from something like the Whopper Plopper. And trust me, guys, not a lot of people have found this Chapo yet. People are still going with their same old Whopper Plopper. So if you're throwing something different, it might be one of those keys to get bit a little bit more. So definitely give this Chapo a try. All the baits you see here on this video, you can find at lakeprotackle.com, guys. Orders over $50 get you free shipping. We've got amazing selections of rods, reels, and tackle that you can't find anywhere else. So go check it out. We've got an exclusives tab. We've got weekly sales running up to 30% off on a lot of items. So go check that out as well. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook to keep up with everything we get in. We just got a big order of Zimmer glide baits in, so go check those out, 6-inch and 8-inch. So along with that, we're gonna be going over some more topwater lures, guys. So number 1 is the Berkley Chapo 90 in this bluegill color, and the color specifically is called Ghost Bluegill. So that guy there, very finessey, definitely gets bit in the tough times, especially during post-front conditions. All right, next up is going to be this one here. This is gonna be the Picasso Toad Slayer. This is a buzzbait style bait. What's cool about it is the bait already comes with a rusty rivet in the back of it. So this bait is extremely squeaky, makes a ton of noise. Of course, it has the buzzbait action, that little plopping action. So it's gonna be, pretty similar to something like this Chapo here, where it still makes the chopping noise. This one here is gonna be a little more finessey. You can put on a swim bait or a ribbit style frog. I love putting a swim bait on this. I rig the swim bait normal, so that way the tail is pointed down, that paddle tail there. And you can see on the back here, it kind of shows you how to rig it just a little bit there. So you can see that. I like to rig it like that. Now with this bait here, I really like to throw it around thicker cover, whether it's grass, shoreline vegetation, and stuff like that. Water willow is one of my favorite places to throw this bait, but you can also throw it in and around brush. This bait here is very compact and it doesn't get hung up as much as your typical buzz baits or Whopper Ploppers or anything with treble hooks. This bait here can get through it, and I absolutely love it for fishing through cover. All right, so next up, my number 3 lure is going to be another moving style lure. It's not gonna be moving as fast as a Chapo or that buzzbait there, but it is going to be this guy here. This is the Evergreen SB 77.7. Now, what's really cool about these, let me zoom in here for you. This thing is tiny. I mean, absolutely tiny. 77.7 millimeters. This color here is just called bone, and you can see right there, it is going to be that yellowish bone color. It's gonna have a very fine glitter underbelly right here. It's gonna be a little white, so it's gonna contrast the water and contrast that bone just a little bit. Comes with the feathered treble and some very strong hooks. I've caught several 5 to 7 pounders on this bait here, and especially when it's very, very tough and you need to slow down this bait here, you can slow it down. I like throwing it on a spinning setup, 10-pound braided line to around a 10 to 12 pound fluorocarbon leader, and it works out amazingly. I like to have a little shorter rod, a 7-foot medium, and you can throw this an absolute mile. Now what's cool about this one, like I said, you can slow it down. You're working it, and you can just pause it. The cupped lip on this bait here allows it to have a little bit of a pop as it works through. You know, it's going to be like a spook style bait, but you can also slow it down kind of like a popper, walk it in a very singular area so it doesn't move very far as you work it, and you can work it very tight to where you want to fish. All right, so this bait here, this shower blow is amazing around bluff walls. If you have sudden drops, so if you're fishing like a seawall, concrete walls or something like that, where it goes from like X foot to, I mean, down a couple, 3-4 foot, where those fish can really stack up, maybe get out of the wind. This bait here is amazing at calling up fish. Now it's 77 millimeters, which is really, really tiny, but it definitely has a big drawing power. The rattle in it is very solid. You know, it's not super loud, but it definitely gets the fish's attention. And, you know, as I said, these hooks are super wicked sharp. The barbs on them definitely keep the fish pinned, and, you know, you can absolutely launch it. You know, it's a hefty lure. You know, it's not super, super heavy for what it is. The weight here is going to be 11/32 or 9.3 grams. So this lure here, I mean, you can launch it. Spinning tackle is what I'd recommend to throw it on. But again, you can get away with a bait cast or with something like 30-pound braid. So this one here, number 3. Next up is going to be another Topwater, of course, because this is my Topwater top 5. Now I can't get the package open, but this guy here is going to be the Shimano World Pop, and this bait here is super, super amazing. It's got the flash boost technology in there, and you can see I'm not even moving it, and when it sits in the water, that little flash boost technology strip in there is going to be moving. It's going to be attracting the fish, shooting out light every which way, so you can draw in a lot of strikes. This color here is going to be one of my favorite ones. This is going to be the Chartreuse SV, and you know, what's really cool about it is it has a steel rattle in it. It's going to be a 1-piece molded weight, and it, of course, the flash boost technology in it. So this bait here is going to be 69 millimeters, so it's going to be just about the same size in length as the shower blow. It's just going to be a little bit fatter. This is going to be something that I'm not working a lot with my rod or reel. I'm just going to pop it, let it sit there, let the flash boost do everything it needs to do for me. So it's going to be a very low maintenance lure. I'm going to be casting this probably around flooded brush, typically just throwing it out there in high percentage areas, letting it sit and letting it draw in the bites for me. So this one here, again, the chartreuse color, and it has a very clear belly as well. So kind of like the Chapo, having the light penetration through the bait, you know, it puts off more of a, it's not really silhouette, but it puts off a distortion in the water that when the fish see that, they can distinguish it, that it's something that they want to eat. And they definitely key in on that. And the flash boost just adds something a little extra. And it also has a feathered treble hook on there. So what's really cool about these, you know, the flash boost, it's a great size. It's not gonna be a really, really big popper. It's not also gonna be a really, really small popper. So it's gonna be somewhere right in the middle. That 69 millimeters is a great size for that. So that one is number 4. And last up, I've talked about this one before. I absolutely love these. They're only $10. You can go get them like protackle.com, guys. This is the Jackal KR frog. And these frogs here, let me tell you, in length, they're only going to be 2.2 inches long. This is going to be half an ounce. So throwing this, you know, it's a little bit heavier than like the shower blow even, so you can really throw it out there. It's got an amazing hookup ratio just because the way the hook, as you clamp down on it, the hooks really get exposed when that plastic goes down. It's a very lifelike looking frog as well. The way the head's designed, it's kind of like an arrow, so it splits the water, so you can walk the dog really easily with this frog. Having frogs that are very small profile like this, a lot of the time it's really hard to get them to walk in a certain way. But kind of like how that shower blow can stay in one place if you work it right, going left to right, walking the dog, same principle applies to this one here. So this KR, it's gonna be a very soft yet durable plastic, very durable hook, guys. This hook here is going to be similar to something like the Booyah Pad Crasher hook, where it's gonna be a very thick gauge, or not, sorry, it's gonna be a very strong hook, but a not very thick gauge. It's gonna be super strong, it's got awesome hardware in it. The weight is going to be right in the back of the butt here, so as you work this frog, it's going to sit kind of like head up underwater like that, like a real frog would. And these little tails here, there's not a lot of them, so you don't have to trim them a lot. It's not super dense. They just move as the frog moves. If you try any of these baits out, guys, I highly recommend the Jackal KR frog, the Evergreen SB 77.7, as well as the Picasso Toad Slayer. You know, all these baits definitely get bit, especially when it gets tough. And I wanna make sure y'all can experience some awesome topwater strikes during this post-spawn season when those fish are really hitting on shad, getting out to the main lake areas on the brush piles and stuff like that. But thank you for making it through the video thus far. We've got a bunch of cool stuff coming for y'all. Chad Shads should be up, and we're gonna be doing a release on Friday. And if you haven't seen that video, go look for it, go to the channel, click on latest videos, and it should be one of the latest videos I put up. We've just got a big order of these Zimmer glide baits come in, so if you're looking for a awesome, affordable 6 or 8 inch glide bait, the Zimmer glides are super amazing, gliding actions at a very awesome price point. You know, the 8 inch are gonna be $125 and the 6 inch are gonna be $100. So those both qualify for free shipping. If you order a rod, you get a free rod sock as well. I hope you enjoyed this information and video, guys. We'll see you next time at Lake Pro Tackle.